Hello there, guys. It's me, Dirt Muffin here. I'm back again for the third time, fourth time this day, today rather. I'm recording. The Golden Armor, Chapter 5, The Dreaded Day Off. Let's get started. There we go. The Dreaded Day Off. In 2 months, things had changed dramatically for both Comet and Angel. The duo had progressed painfully from hoof-to-hoof combat into full-contact weapon training. Along the way, Comet gained some inexplicable bruises in places he'd rather not mention. However, while Angel surpassed Comet in combat, Comet shone his ability to keep a straight face and fly. While no pony would ever guess, Comet got his skills from avoiding and ignoring Angel. She, for her part, learned how to read even tiny signals in pony expressions, gaining full insight into a single blink or eye twitch. Altogether, they were both progressing superbly in their training. Corporal Feathermane was absolutely proud of the duo, as he shared in every one of his reports to Shining Armor. Shining, for his part, was busy with the Phoenix Philomena. A bit turned into weeks of training, much to Celestia's, Philomena's, and Shining's annoyance. The saying about an old dog and new tricks took on a whole new meaning with Philomena, who resolutely refused to cooperate and pecked the sense out of any royal guard who tried to teach her. Not one to be denied, though, Shining persisted with Philomena's training. He met some moderate success along the way when he had enough treats. As for dear Princess Luna, she was working on talking in a normal voice around common ponies. In Celestia's personal opinion, though, Luna arguing herself in the mirror did little help to her volume, which remained 20 decibels too high. So was life in Canterlot Castle. Comet stood as still as a statue, and so did Angel. Comet was convinced that he was dreaming for the better part of 3 minutes until she let out a huge sigh and flapped her wings. Bad ponies are not meant to stay still, she whined in an exasperated tone. Comet kept his stoic face, and Angel tossed a glance his way. It had been a full 2 months since she tackled him in the alleyway, and she had to admit, he was a pretty impressive stallion. He put up with her without losing his temper, especially in the first day of basic training, and even kept his cool under extreme pressure, such as when Corporal Feathermane launched him from a catapult while he was blindfolded. Angel wasn't sure why it was necessary for the blindfold, since the exercises were about aerial maneuvers at high speeds. Still, Comet was just being Comet, and Angel liked that about him. He was a good friend and training partner. That didn't mean Angel had given up on annoying him. She had used every sly trick in her book to mess with him, and had each time gotten successful results, like making him blush vividly before inspections. Corporal Feathermane still thought Comet had an improper magazine somewhere near his bed. Angel enjoyed teasing Comet, but she also knew if she pushed her luck too far, her fragile relationship with Comet would break quickly. She knew Comet had trouble making new friends, but no pony knew Angel did as well. She found it hard to retain friends after they saw her personality, and was amazed Comet hadn't requested a transfer to another unit yet. She'd also thought that it was really sweet of him. For Comet's part, he received a letter for flooding the lead officer's desk with transfer requests. So here the two of them stood, waiting for Corporal Feathermane to make an appearance. He was unusually tardy today. Something Comet felt in the pit of his stomach meant bad things for him. It took them another half hour of standing before another royal guard approached them. The shiny insignia of the warrant officer gleamed proudly against his golden armor, which contrasted heavily with its black pelt and platinum mane. He stopped at the duo, who stood resolutely still and expressionless, and spoke. Corporal Feathermane will not join you today. He's busy with other important matters, and has given you both approval for a day off. Eddie's recruits. The unicorn warrant officer then disappeared in a burst of violet light, leaving an excited bat pony to talk the ear off of Pegasus. Corporal Feathermane, for his part, was sitting on his bed, spit-cleaning his armor and trying to hide the pictures of his mare friend back in Coltsburg in preparation for inspection by Shining Armor. Still, for the two ponies down on the training field, the day was still young. "This is just too cool!" Angel shouted excitedly as she and Comet trotted back to their bunks. "A whole day to do what we want! We could go into town, go drinking, or go to a spa, or..." She rambled on as they walked. Comet merely rolled his eyes, as he always did when Angel was excited. He had no clue where she was going with the ideas. He was going to spend the day off with her. He had formulated his own plans, like going into town, finding a nice library, and relaxing there all day. It wasn't much, but it was what Comet liked to do. Back at the bunks, Comet dug through his footlocker as Angel excitedly flew up and crashed on her bed, still listing off things to do. Comet, who was adept at ignoring her by now, pulled out his bag of bits from the locker. Keeping his money inside his locker seemed foolish, but he had long ago acquired a big lock to keep Angel and others out, particularly Corporal Feathermane, who had tried long ago to get some bits from Comet to settle a bar tab. Money in mouth, and a whole day to spend it. Comet headed silently for the door. Just before he got there, a very audible "Hey!" came from behind him, followed by the familiar flapping of bat wings. Angel landed and trotted up behind him. "Where are you going?" she asked him sweetly. Comet turned to her and said through his bit pouch, "Somewhere quiet." "Oh, so we're going to a spa?" Angel squealed as she bounced in the air. "No, I'm going to a library. The whole point of a day off is to relax," Comet said with his bit pouch mashing his words together. "I know, but libraries are boring. They make you be quiet. Spas are so much more fun," Angel said, still hopping. "I didn't say you were coming with me," Comet replied. Angel suddenly stopped bouncing, and her eyes got wide. "What?" she asked in a shocked voice. Comet was really planning on going somewhere without her. She'd figured he would try to, but she had been planning for this. "What do you mean, not with me?" she said, as she asked in a heartbroken tone. "What I mean, I'm spending the day off alone," Comet stated in a matter-of-fact tone. Angel hung her head in her best sad impersonation and mumbled, "Oh, okay then. I'll just let you get going then. Don't want to spoil your day." She sniffed loudly and turned to walk away. Deep down, Comet knew she was faking it. She would eventually find him with her weird tracking ability and force him to spend the day with her. He knew this and told himself that he would just leave, but his body failed to react. Then, in a corner of his mind he didn't know that existed, he felt a new sensation of pity. He had never seen her socialize with any other pony except for Corporal Feathermane, and knew she had often said that Comet was her best friend, followed every time by an uncomfortable hug. Then, while he grappled with his new emotion and tried to stifle it, another one popped up. This time it was sympathy. He had never really had friends either, although he never would say it out loud. Angel was the closest pony he had for a friend. So, without being able to control his mouth, Comet said, "I do know a nice spa in Canterlot. We could go there today." The instant he said it, Comet mentally slapped himself. Why in Equestria would he say that? Angel instantly perked up and spun back around to him, with a wide grin on her face. "I'll get my bits!" she shouted and ran back into the bunks. While she dug around for them, Comet chastised himself for speaking those horrible words. He only knew of the spa because of an advertisement that got stuck on his face before he crashed into the castle wall. Now he was going there and taking Angel too? Before he could work out an excuse, Angel bolted by him, somehow grabbed his hoof and yanked him out the door. "Let's go, Comet! This will be the best day off ever!" she shouted, and took off, unknowingly slapping Comet on his cheek with her wings. Okay, that was Chapter 5. Thank you for listening, guys. Please leave a comment down below, and expect more from me today.